dancing through life, swaying and sweeping, and always keeping cool.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Fiyero Time, Backstage at Wicked with me, Jonah Platt. Sadly, this is the last episode of Fiyero Time. We've reached the end of our journey together, friends. 8 glorious episodes. I've had such a blast exploring Backstage here at the Gershwin with all of you and all the awesome people here at Wicked. I'll definitely be sad to see it go, but we're going to go out with a bang. It's going to be a great final episode. We're going to say our final goodbyes to everybody else. We're going to do the last Fiyero 5, and we're going to go out in style. So sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the final episode of Fiyero Time. Hashtag Fiyero Time. Kara Lindsay.
Hello.
How has Fiyero Time changed you for good?
Oh, Fiyero Time has changed me for good because I've learned that you're really good with the camera. I learned a lot about the Gershwin and how things are run, and I loved watching Alphaba getting green because whenever she's getting green, I'm getting ready in there. So it was really cool to watch the whole thing. That was cool. You've changed me for good.
Fiyero Time has changed me for good. Because I got to make up a theme song to Fiyero Time. And I think everybody's was really good. And I like to watch them all do the dancing.
Fiyero Time's changed me for good because it was just really good bonding time with Jonah Platt.
I thought I knew what love was. And then I saw you. That's all I got.
Man, maybe I should turn the camera off. Fred?
Yes.
How has Fiyero Time changed you for good?
What's Fiyero Time?
Perfect.
Wow, Fiyero Time. Well, it gives me an anchor, a focus every day. When I come in, I think, how's Fiyero? What are we doing for Fiyero Time? Hashtag Fiyero. So it gives me something to focus on.
Well, that's good.
And I'm going to miss it.
Thank you. We're going to miss you, Toby.
Fiyero Time has changed me for good because it has introduced me to a wonderful person who is playing Fiyero these days, and that would be you.
Aw,
So
thanks,
it's definitely
Randy.
good memories. Thank you.
Fiyero Time has changed me for good because I will stop running from the camcorder now because it's over.
And there he goes. So I'm sitting here with the Hollywood Walk of Fame star of stage and screen, Miss Michelle Lee.
And people are talking to us.
It always happens. Michelle, you're one of the only people I haven't gotten a chance to talk with on Fiyero Time, so we had to get you in on the last episode.
Well, I want to do something first because,
Okay.
being that I've been on television for so long and Knots Landing, that show before you were born.
I was born when Knots Landing was on.
Of course you were. But this is what we would do on the show because they love seeing the women.
Okay.
And so we had to look good, right?
Of course.
And before every scene, they would say, lights, camera, mirrors. This is a makeup made especially for Wicked.
Is that true?
Yes, you didn't know that?
No, they make that color just for Wicked?
Just for Wicked. It's a violet.
Oh, hazy
it's a
lavender.
White, and it only is sold to Wicked.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I wear this as my character, Madame Morrible. It looks white on the face. What I do as my character is put on, I put it on.
It's purple right now.
It's purple right now, but on stage it doesn't look purple.
No.
They say it softens everything. Actually, I did one of my Broadway shows in this same
Which
theater.
one?
Seesaw, which was an
I didn't know that was here.
Yes.
What was it like coming back into the Gershwin, what is it, 40 years later? 15 years later.
Madame Morrible, I'm sure all of you out there know Wicked.
Never heard of it.
And this guy who everybody has a crush on, including some older women. Anyway, Madame Morrible is actually the most evil of the characters.
That's for sure.
And the way I've chosen to play the top of the show, meaning the beginning. I play her so the people that don't know Wicked would not really know where her character's going, okay?
Right.
And I absolutely do not look like myself when I put on the makeup.
That's for sure. And you got the huge wig,
I've
the
got
big
a
blonde,
huge blonde,
curly
huge
mess.
True. And it weighs a lot. And maybe a little bit later, you can come back and shoot Madame Morrible in the makeup.
Okay, so we'll
before
definitely
we go
come back
on.
and take a look at that.
Okay, this is me, if you can see it.
There she
Doesn't
is,
it look beautiful?
in all her glory.
Thank you. So long.
So long, have a good show.
So long.
Wait, this is your room. All right, guys, before we get to the final Fiyero 5, let's check out these ridiculous gluten-free, pumpkin, chocolatey cookie concoctions that none other than Cara Lindsay made. Last week, she made very similar ones that were off the chain, but they were not gluten-free. And seeing as I'm gluten-free, I had a little taste, but I said, man, I wish there were gluten-free ones of these. And she said, hey, that's a great idea. I'll make them, you can enjoy them, and it'll be a nice test for my husband, Kevin, who is also gluten-free. So, Kevin, you're welcome when you enjoy these awesome treats. Happy to be your guinea pig anytime, bud. And thank you, Cara, you're the sweetest. Over the past 2 months, hundreds of you have sent in questions from Instagram and Twitter. I just want to thank you all. Please believe me, I saw all of them. At Andy Ewert asks, how do you keep each show fresh and not get bored of doing the same thing every night? Well, it's a two-part answer. The first part is, this is my job. You know, it's obviously a job that I chose because I love, and it's a passion, and I have a great time doing it. But it's a job. I'm getting paid to be here, and there are expectations that I'm going to bring my all and give my absolute best every single night. And the second part is if you're acting to the fullest sense of the word, it's never going to be boring. Now, what do I mean by that? Step one of acting is creating the character, memorizing your lines, knowing your blocking, hitting your beats, checking off all the boxes of this is what my part does. For me, I'd get bored if that was the end of it. But the next part, and what I believe all actors are striving to do, is to be completely present in the moment, within every moment that you're on stage, so that you can be fully acting and reacting authentically and honestly within each given moment. If I show up for, let's say, the train station scene, and I've already sort of made up in my mind exactly how I'm going to say every line, then it doesn't even matter what Elphaba says or what Glinda says, because I'm going to just say my line the exact same way. And if I was playing it like that for 8 shows a week, I definitely get bored. But if I'm going to be there listening to what Glinda and Elphaba say and then saying my line in the way that I'm pushed to say it in that moment because of the way that my scene partners have delivered it, to me, that's what acting is about. That's what makes it fun. At Nicole Adores Show Tunes, hit me up on Instagram. She did an awesome job with these questions, by the way. Love your card. Any advice for aspiring performers who don't have many years of experience and want to go into musical theater? So the advice I would give for this would be the same advice I'd give to anybody going into any industry. It doesn't matter when you're starting. There's no late to the game. Whenever you start is when you start, and your trajectory will just start a little bit later. But the key thing is to start. If you don't have a lot of experience in musical theater and you think, okay, that's my passion, I've discovered it, that's where I want to go, start doing it. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter how, at school, after school, community, go for it. I mean, it doesn't matter. What matters is you start getting the reps in, start putting in the time, start gaining that experience so you know the things you need to know, so you feel comfortable in the environment that you're going to need to be in on a daily basis. Next question. At Kristen Gilhooly, aka Frank Reynolds, love the It's Always Sunny shout out. She asks, how did you do your character study and how did you find inspiration for how you play the role of Fiyero? So I was fortunate enough to have seen Wicked, maybe, not joking, 30 plus times. So I've seen so many Fiyeros over the years, so that definitely helped. If you're going to do research into a role, getting, 10 different people's takes on it gives you a lot to pull from. I think one of the traps of Fiyero is that you can get stuck sort of just treating him like an airhead who then suddenly does some brave stuff. I don't think he's ever an airhead. He's just somebody who doesn't really care at the beginning because he's never had a reason to. So I guess the short answer is I draw the inspiration from my own life and my own situational reactions. And, Fiyero's a guy trying to be a better guy. And that's certainly something I can relate to. For the final question, at Slothras, aka Michelle, asks, what are your plans for after Wicked? Well, I don't have any, career-wise at least. I know I'm getting married at the end of the summer, which is very exciting. This is a very tough business in that it's always about what comes next, moving from gig to gig to gig to gig, and there's a lot of uncertainty. You have to really get comfortable, and it's a good thing, but you have to get comfortable with appreciating the journey and not the destination. So I don't know what comes next. I'll certainly start auditioning for things and keeping my eyes open once we get a little bit closer. I'm done in June, so I still have a solid amount of time. It's really, 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 really hard to get hired in this business. So we'll see. Thank you all for your questions. I got so many awesome ones. Keep following me on Twitter and on Instagram at Jonah Platt. I'll definitely be doing more Q&A stuff as I'm still here on Wicked, so you'll definitely have more of a chance to ask me some questions. It won't be on the vlog, but you'll get an answer. That's it for me, guys. We've come to the end of our journey. I felt I had to get my fiance, Courtney Galliano, in before the whole thing was over. I just want to thank everybody who's been watching Fiyero Time over the last 8 weeks. It's been so fun getting all your reactions, feeling all your love and support. Thank you so much for engaging with me and for loving Wicked and for following the vlog and telling me how much it means to you and asking questions. It's really been awesome, and thank you so much. So for the last time, this has been Fiyero Time. Hashtag Fiyero Time.
But, babe, it's your last one. Go big or go home.
You know what, Court? You're right.
I usually am.
For the last time, this has been
Fiyero Time! Hashtag Fiyero Time!
Dancing through life, swaying and sweeping, and always keeping